Alright, in this video I'm going to teach you the Bluff Pass, which is one of my favorite, probably one of my top 3 card controls that I do. Alright, so this is kind of a hard control to demonstrate without somebody else here with me, but I'll explain it. And it may seem a bit risky or bold to you, but just trust me, this is one of the best card controls out there. It's one of the ones that I use most often, and it just works. Okay, so I'll do a brief overview of what the move is, and then I'll break it down further with some tips. So here's what's happening. You have a card selected, for example, and what you're going to do is you get a pinky break below the top card of the deck. That's easy. You just push it over a little bit, pull it back while maintaining that break, and you start riffling down the pack like this. You stop it around the middle. You're going to turn your hand palm up, and you come over. You're going to pretend to grab all of the cards above that big gap in the front of the deck. So you're pretending to pick up half the deck, but in reality what happens is when your hand comes over, you're covering this area they can't see. So you just close that gap with your thumb, or you just let go with your thumb, basically. That closes the gap, and all you're going to do is pick up only the top card of the deck. Okay, so you're creating the illusion that you're picking up half the deck. Really, you just pick up the top card of the deck. Okay, and the way that you're picking this card up, look at my finger positions right here. My thumb is along the back edge. The entire front edge of the card is being covered by my fingers. So they can't see the thickness of these cards, or this card, right? So it's easy for them to assume that that's half the deck. You're covered from the right. The only angle that's not so great is the left. So if you have people to your left, it's easy to navigate. You angle yourself to the left, and then you can also kind of angle down a little bit if you want. But it's not a very angle sensitive move. Don't be too afraid of that. The other thing you want to do is you want to convince them that this deck in your hand is half the cards, and that's also, you know, pretty easy to do. I'll give you a few tips. So first one is you don't want to like angle it up, because then it's very easy to see the thickness of the packet. You want to angle down slightly. And then here's another tip that I haven't heard anyone else talk about. Normally when you hold a deck of cards, you hold it like this, right? And you can see that your fingers usually only extend beyond the deck just a little bit. But if you were to hold half a deck, your cards would be sticking, or your fingers would be sticking out, or they would be extending beyond the deck a lot more. So when you do the Bluff Pass, once you've removed that single card, a nice subtlety to add is to have your fingers be extending far out, like that. So instead of holding it like this, you hold it like this, if that makes sense. It's just a nice little touch. And then you tell them to return their card to the pack. Okay, so they're going to place their card there. And then here's what you do. You're holding the single card like this. You're going to come over. You're just going to drop the card right on top. And then here's the part that really sells the illusion. As soon as you place the card on top, you're going to pick up half the cards and then just dribble them. So it looks like you just came over with half the deck. Here's what it looks like happened. It looked like you had half the deck in your hand. You came over and dribbled them on top of the card that they just returned to the pack. In reality, you have one card, you came over, you picked up half the deck, and then dribbled it. But it looks exactly the same if you do it right. So this, you know, after you do this, they won't suspect anything. That just completely sells the illusion to them. Okay, so you've controlled their card second from the top. So it's very similar to a Marlowe tilt in that case. But you can control it to any number of positions. You can control it third to the top, fourth from the top. This is one of the advantages of this control, is that it's easy to control it to a very specific position in the deck. So if you want to control it to the sixth from the top, instead of getting a pinky break beneath the top card of the deck, you would get a pinky break above 5 cards from the top, and then you do the exact same thing. Now their card is sixth from the top. Alright, so that's the Bluff Pass. Try it out in a mirror. And of course, you just want to make sure you don't hesitate at all when it comes to the point where you come over and pick up half the deck. Just do it very casually. try it out. You know, you might be nervous about it the first few times, but you'll quickly realize that it just works. It totally flies. So that's the Bluff Pass. I hope you like that card control, and I'll see you next time. Bye.